Hi, my name is Carter Fay, and welcome to the fourth video in Carter Snowboard Tune-Up Tips. Today, we're going to be doing waxing. It's extremely important to wax your snowboard because it's an extreme help for when you want to get speed on the mountain, and not only that, but protects your board. Waxing your snowboard creates a thin layer of wax over your base that'll take impacts from rocks and other things, and also the thin layer has good texture and is super smooth, meaning you'll glide a lot better on snow when you've waxed your board. It's best to do this every 3 to 5 days. 3 is the best, and anything past 5 is a little much. For this video, I'm going to tell you how to wax your snowboard, and not only that, first I'm going to show you how to properly use the hot wax method to clean it and prepare it for waxing. First we're going to clean our base, and again, like I said, we're going to use the hot wax method. This method is going to involve pouring wax all over the base, using the iron to melt it in, and then quickly scraping it away. Doing this will melt not only the wax, but the old wax under it, and we'll scrape all old and new wax, including the contaminants that are on the board, meaning that the base will be clean, open, and ready for a new coating of wax. For this, we're going to need an iron, wax, a plastic scraper, a brush, a buffing pad, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Your board should be flat and upside down, with the base up. This is so you can properly drip wax on and make long, smooth strokes when ironing and scraping the board. It would be very good, though, to first loosen the screws of the board. These screws are made of metal and are therefore great heat conductors. That means that they'll make specific parts of your board harder than the other. I've already unscrewed one side, but now I'm just going to quickly unscrew this side a little bit. Unscrew the screws on this side just a little bit. You don't need to take them all the way out, and this helps keep all heat dispersed properly. Now that we've done that, we can get down to doing the actual hot waxing. Again, this method is just pouring wax all over the board, getting it in, and quickly scraping it to take off new and old wax. What you should use is just a basic all-temperature wax. You don't want to use anything too expensive because it's not actually going to stay on the board. It's just going to be quickly used as a way to take other wax off. Once your iron gets up to the correct temperature, it should be around 130 degrees, you're going to press it onto the wax. You can tell if it's too hot because it'll smoke. You're going to want to drip the wax across the edge of the board, and then about 3/4 of the way up, and then just do a zigzag pattern through the middle. So we're just going to press it up, drip it along. 3/4 of the way up, and then just go to the other side. Do the other edge. Once that's done, just a zigzag through the middle. Oh, you see, this is smoking, so we're just going to want to turn it down a bit. You obviously don't need to use that much wax. I think I've used a little bit too much, but that's okay. Now we're just gonna put a little bit more here. And we're gonna place our iron on the board and slowly, with a bit of pressure, slide it across. This will evenly spread the wax out and leave a nice trail. Just going to slowly spread the wax across. This will also pull up your wax and allow it to be spread to the end of the board because we haven't put wax all the way to the end. This part is a bit slow, but you need to be patient. Otherwise, you won't get a good wax job done. Spreading the wax out and hopefully letting it go into the base of the board. And you're going to do the other side and do the exact same. Slowly across. Across again. And you're going to do it again, but you're just going to want to do it a little bit faster this time. Again, just heating up the board so you heat up all the wax and get it on. Just put it all around. And now we're ready to scrape. We're going to want to scrape right after we've waxed because we want the board, because we want it to still be hot. We need it at a 45-degree angle and just pull it. Hold it in place. Just try to scrape off all the wax. Just quick strokes, scraping it all off. Get the base all clean and ready for another coating. Scraping again, you want to get all wax off as you possibly can. And not only does this clean the board very well, it leaves the board hot, which means it's more open to accept the next coating of wax. We're going to add that, the one that we're going to let dry and let actually work its magic. Now it's time to do the actual waxing. The first step is choosing the proper wax to use. Now this is a very important step, and when you're doing this, you want to think about what conditions you will be in and what kind of snowboarding you'll be doing, whether it's recreational or racing. To figure this out, in the description below, there will be a document that has all the different types of waxes, what they're made for, and their specific uses. So just go through that to decide what wax you're going to use. Today we're just going to use basic all temperature wax again. And we're gonna again hold it against the edge of our iron and drip it across the edge of the base and then in zigzags in the center. Okay? So we're just gonna start dripping the wax on. Press it into the base and start. Just bring it along. Should be a fairly even coating. And then a zigzag in the center. Exactly like we did when we did all waxing. Now that the wax is down and we've dripped it on, we're going to take out our iron again and make slow passes along, making sure to spread the wax out entirely. Just slow passes. You want to be very steady here. This is a very important part. You have to, again, make sure that you don't hold the iron in the same place for too long. It could burn the base of your board and cause serious damage. Once we've done our long stroke, that's going to take a while, we're going to get a little bit faster strokes. Going a bit faster, but still without melting the wax. Okay, and then in the center, just one last time. And we're going to sit, and after that, we're going to sit and let it dry for about half an hour. And then it should be ready to scrape. But if you're planning on storing your board for this summer, you can just leave it with a coat of wax on unscraped. This will help protect the board and stop oxidization, keeping your base fresh for the next season. And there we go. Now we just need to wait for our wax to dry into the base. Hello, we're back. It's been 30 minutes and the wax has fully dried. Now it's time to take your plastic wave scraper and get ready to scrape the board down. What you're going to want to do, you can do this many different ways, but I find a very effective one is to hold it at about a 45-degree angle with it facing towards you and hold backwards. Just brings up. You may have to hold the board sometimes. And then just using one hand, takes off all the wax you need to take off. Remember, you don't need to take off too much wax. You want to make sure you're using a sharp part, otherwise you won't take off enough. You just want to take off about the top sheet of wax, which shouldn't take too long at all. And then if you have places where you've accidentally pulled too many wax, you should take it out if you can. Let's just begin scraping it across. Especially at the ends, here, you'll get some serious buildup. You just want to take that off. Remember, you can do it other ways too, like just this way. It all works the same, really. As long as you have it at an angle, you're using the edge of the scraper. You also want to make sure you don't get too much wax on the edge. If you have wax on the edge, just scrape it off. It should come off very easily. So just like that, go over the edges. The point of scraping the wax on after you've waxed the board is to take off the top sheet. What you really want to do is get the wax into the pores of the board. You don't want a big buildup of wax over top of it. So that's the point of melting it in and then scraping it off. You can leave it on and the wax will just naturally come away as you snowboard, but scraping it off is the better choice. Now we're going to move on to brushing and polishing. What you're going to do is take on your brush. You're going to want a hard brush for this part. Just put it on and very hard scrape the board. This is going to add texture into it and allow water to get in and not suction the board to the ground, slowing you down. This is definitely a very important thing to do. Just bring it along the board. It also cleans up the wax. It takes off any big places. See, across the board. See, that's good. It's made it very nice and fine. And now, if you have a buffing rag like this, you don't exactly need one. You just, using some pressure, bring it across. This will polish the bottom of the board and make it as smooth as possible. And is a good thing to use. And there you have it. You've successfully cleaned the base of your board, waxed it, scraped it, and buffed and polished it. It's now ready to ride. Good job. Next video, we're going to be doing interviews of snowboard technicians in Whistler. So we'll see you next time on Carter Snowboard Tune-Up Tips.